I guess we are known for being orderly, or so we think.
Yeah, I think that is related, I guess.
But yeah, nice nice TP by Foggy here. Doesn't really have any other option but to do so. And FoCuS did buy enough space for that great haul, but it's still not mining, not saturated. I think we might actually get away with this little lab creep here. Might give the Shadow Hunter that big mana he so desires. For the big heal, for the blade. Let's see what drops.
Invo Potion always appreciated as well. It is the Wand of Mana Stealing, wonderful for the Shadow Hunter in exchange for some Alchemist mana to reduce healing, get some Serpent Wards out. That's basically trading damage for... Well, not really trading damage for healing. Takes both away, so it's even better. It's a double whammy.
It's a double whammy for sure. Wow, look at Foggy's items. We've got Staff of Prez on the Keeper to staff the Alchemist home, and then Staff of Tele on the Alki to get him back in with full HP, full mana. Mana Pot, Periapt, and Flute, which is providing +2 to all these lovely ladies here. A lot of damage on Foggy's army right now. Just needs a bunch of Wisps, which we know the best elves against Orc bring in lots of Wisps. Oh, kind of wasted like Poison Ivy combination there. It wasn't fantastic. But in any case, the army looks strong for Foggy right now. He's prepared. Tome of Retraining. Is this Thorns?
What?
It's Thorns level 2. Wow, full aura effect right now. We have 30% return damage back on the melee units of the Orc army here, including the blade and a level 1 entangle, I'm presuming.
Yeah, that's true. Which can be dispelled relatively easy. Protection scroll as well, indeed. We got a big armor difference here. Foggy, can you brute force this? The supply is even, which is usually good for the walk, but we'll see how long that's still the case, because FoCuS is in trouble by not having any mana for heal wave or more Serpent Wards. Not that many, but he's right next to the shop and has a lot of gold.
Definitely needs to buy maybe a Clarity Potion, move to the back, pop that Mana Potion, keep the Blade up. The Blade is out of consumables now and has only got 400 HP, not very much to keep him going in this fight. And these archers are standing strong. The Hunts did their job, they pretty much died off. There's no way this Alki should be going down. Staff on the Alki. Nice, now he can use the Moonwalls, come back in, and he's full HP, full mana once again on the Alchemist. Terrific play here by Foggy. And yeah, FoCuS, can he chew through the rest of this archer line? I'm not so sure.
He's down 15 food soon, cleans up the Serpent Wards. They always grant experience, obviously, so we're getting close to 5-5 heroes, and that is indeed a problem. Level up for FoCuS with a level 2 heal wave. That will help as long as he has mana, but that's not the case. So you gotta pop the Clarity, but for that to work, you have to retreat from the fight, and that opens up the floodgates to the Expo.
Yep, and we don't have any cement for these burrows, I'm afraid, Neo, so they are going down fast right now as soon as this shop is taken care of. Not that it supply blocks FoCuS anyway, but it feels bad, man, in any case. And yeah, 2-2 archers, True Shot and Thorns 2. Interesting to see. Look at that one volley on the Raider. Pretty decent damage, and it's a lot against the Shaman and the Grunts, way more than that.
Foggy never taking to tier 3, which would probably be lights out. But it might just be lights out here anyway with the 20
once again.
Food leader. Yeah, it has to be hero focus to a degree, but it's not much focus.
FoCuS is running out of focus right now. No way to make a pun out of that, but yeah, Serpent Wards trying their best to get rid of these hunts that are flooding back in once again. I like that Foggy is remaking a couple. And yeah, the Mirage is proving to be quite distracting in this engagement. Foggy, maybe he's starting to run out of steam slightly. No more mana in the Alki. Level 5 though is insane for future engagements. I think FoCuS is honestly beating Foggy back here a bit.
Well, let's wait and see. There's 2 more units about to fall. It is a tug of war, that's for sure. Alchemist hits like a truck whenever he hits. Keeper also 3. This is now Thorn's Aura level 3. Is that 50% damage reduction? 45? Something like that?
45.
45. Plus shop control. Heal scroll and protection scroll. Again, wow. Foggy suffering some losses, but FoCuS is not close to level 5. And how do you deal with this? Need mana. And pray, I guess.
Yeah, the trouble is here is the Shadow kind of bereft of mana. Not got much to work with. Shaman's also low on mana. We know they require a lot to deal with the entangle. Oh, Shadow Hunter. Okay, quick purge there by FoCuS. But yeah, not a good start to this little skirmish here. And yeah, the level 3 heal spray is just kind of unreal, to be honest.
It's really good. It's really good. It can be prevented with Ensnare, of course, but there's a limited amount of raiders. And you gotta be super duper quick. I don't know if that's all possible here. Serpent Ward set up, but the archers are dealing with them from the back, and Night Elf levels keep rising.
Nice lightning shield on the back there on that archer. It's really good to sometimes put it on your opponent's units to force the damage in the back line. And they can't do much about it without dispelling the protection scroll. Yet FoCuS really trying to use that technique as much as he can here to keep damaging Foggy's army. But the heal spray is just impossible to fight through. The Alchemist has a ton of mana to work with here. And yet FoCuS unfortunately running out of steam here. His army's looking bruised. Shadow has to keep buying as many mana pots. He's even on cooldown right now on him. And yep, Blade, no invul, no heal potion to save himself. Maybe has to buy a health pot, but look at all the raiders and the grunts, they're all falling, Neo.
Oh, imagine if there's one heal scroll or two. He might even be winning the game, but also Thorn's Aura Impact, not to be underestimated. Every single time the Blade Master hits, half of that damage gets reflected. And for a second, it looked like FoCuS could turn this around, but it was just a lot of damage done and damage distributed as if everything had Spirit Link. But that's not the case. There's no Spirit left in this Blade. Level 6. GG. We're not getting the ultimates, but we get a tied up series as Foggy claims map 2.
Yeah, just a solidly executed game by Foggy there. In the end, managing to take down FoCuS. I thought for a second maybe FoCuS was not getting an edge, but he managed to fend off the elf attack and kind of got himself together as best he could. But unfortunately for him, Foggy just had too many resources at his disposal, had a bigger armor, better upgrades, better heroes, more consumables to work with. And in the end, is victorious against FoCuS.
And this is kind of cool for us because that gives us the next map, Melting Valley, which I haven't seen much in competitive. Then it guarantees us a clash between the two on Twisted. And if we get a 2-2, there is a chance we might see Eversong.
That legendary map that we've not seen.
Legendary map. What do you think? What's the percentage of viewers that have never heard of the map Eversong?
I'm gonna say 70% don't know that map, or they've never even heard of the map.
Pretty sure. 70%. That is almost.
Make a poll in chat.
We could make a poll in chat, and it's not like that I have nothing to do here. We're waiting for Foggy anyway, so let's make a poll in chat. Okay, let's see how close Qbert is to the 70%.
Oh, people can lie now. They're like, oh yeah, I know that map. I've heard of it.
Do you think Twitch chat would lie to me and you?
Oh, definitely. Especially since I'm here.
Have you ever heard of the map Eversong? Yes? No.
Also, could we ask Ted to update his overlay so we can see Thorn's aura damage?
I don't think that's possible. I tried already. And I think it's also the overlay of Infifly and TH, because Ted is still using the original one.
Oh, I see.
Get your facts straight, Qbert. God damn it. All these fake news. Is that the reason there's a Q in your name?
Yeah, of course. I'm known as a deceptive sort. No, I was guessing. I know that they're all collaborating, but I didn't actually know who owns the overlay or who designed it.
Yeah, I think that's the case. And for TP League, they all use the clean feed, which uses the big overlay as well.
But that is a cool overlay. Like, the amount of cool information on it is pretty sick.
There is a lot. They updated it now that you see the duration of your unit that is ensnared and by what it got ensnared or something. It's pretty crazy.
Maybe a bit excessive?
A little.
Because it is really cool to know, like, how much did statues regenerate, how much did Unholy Aura regenerate, Brilliance Aura, you know, that, and how much Moonwell juice you have. crazy.
That is
Like,
pretty
that
good.
is-
Also, the
that
fight
is cool.
recap. There's a lot of good stuff in there, that's for sure. We're working on it, everybody. Once the W3Champions finals are over, I will tinker a little bit with what we got. But first, we tinker with Foggy and FoCuS, and the third map, Melting Valley.
Well, Neo, what to expect on Melting Valley?
You're so mean. I have no idea, dude. I have no idea what the meta is on Melting Valley at all, because there is no meta on Melting Valley at all.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
mean.
I'm as in the dark as you. As soon as this map was re-added back to the pool, I was like, nope. I don't wanna play this
What?
map.
You didn't even try?
I do
Even with
not
the
want to play this
upgrades?
map.
God damn, dude. You're ruining esports single-handedly.
Single-handedly taking it down with me. Now, what is cool is that they removed the highly abusable Ogre Lord that used to be able to just be pulled onto like a human expand and just wreck it.
Yep.
You remember that?
I do.
That was nuts. Now we just have the skull throne that he used to sit at, and it's vacant, which is an odd, an odd sight, honestly, on the map.
This is a really cool touch indeed. There you see it. There's a fog of war above it. But yeah, here was a big ogre. You can lure him here to the expo. Now there's a lot more distance between them. And I think the lab creeps were also updated. Everything got shuffled around a little bit. I think it's more enjoyable than it was before.
Yeah, definitely.
And you still
The
don't
lab?
play it. It's ridiculous.
I know. I don't like the merc camp. The fact it's all piercing is kind of abusable, especially by humans, or humbas, as they're also known as.
Psh,
Can,
can't say
quick
that
that with-
here. Can't say that. The Cabal is listening. We're getting DDoSed soon. If you could be too.
Yeah, they're gonna find out where I live and just they come after me, which isn't not hard to find. So, but
God, asking to be doxxed, dude. You're so
literally
stupid.
asking to be dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, the lab actually has a unique creep from the campaign. Did you know? It has a level 6 ogre, which is not a standard creep. It's called a Stonewall ogre, and it has one head, which is found in the Rexar campaign, the bonus campaign, and that's present on this map.
Shit,
Very
I did
weird.
not know.
I know, and I've only played this map. I've not even played the map before.
Okay, you redeemed yourself.
Thank you.
That is great information about Melting Valley version 2.
Essential, I would argue. Even.
Essentially, yeah, from now on, now that I know it, it's definitely essential.
All right, Neo, what are we seeing this game?
Well, Hubert, we see a keeper, we see a huntress build, and we'll probably be seeing an expansion as well. This is like Concealed Hill all over again.
That was aptly deduced, my friend. Very apt. And now what shall we see on the orc side? Quick tech, second burrow coming up now. This map is absolutely gigantic, so I don't think we'll be seeing any pressure from the keeper in the orc base. And FoCuS is probably just going to try and get his level 2, I would imagine. Perhaps paying a visit to the shop and finding the keeper is best. We will see.
Yeah, this map is indeed gigantic, so rush distance from base to base, pretty long, takes forever. Towards the expansions, kind of more doable. It has basically 2 lanes and a lot of content in the middle, just like this shop. And speaking of content, people appreciate our content. Thank you, Dummkopf, for the 44-month resub, and Todespunk as well.
I love all the German supporter names. They've all got really funny names. All right. Crystal Ball stolen from Foggy's side. I don't think you'd be too sad about that, but the XP did, of course, go to the side of FoCuS, who sold that Crystal Ball, healing himself up nicely in Windwalk form.
Here's the
And
Stonewall Ogre.
There it is.
As
I
if
told you.
Foggy wanted to show us. Yeah,
One head, quite a tanky boy, 1060 HP, more than the Ogre Lord,
dude.
which is really weird. Bizarre creep indeed. He's basically like a Mauler on crack.
Yeah,
See, he's a
this
tanky
shouldn't be
boy.
crept in the early game. But you know what? There's an AP growing outside FoCuS base, and FoCuS isn't covering it.
Are we still surprised to see that AP there, Neo?
No, but I am surprised that FoCuS isn't scouting it.
Yeah, he's kind of using the grunts to just creep. There's a spare grunt in the base that's like really terrified to go outside. And the peon is only now checking for the AP, which is really late, guys. As soon as it hits night, you need to have a scout outside your orc base in order to check for an AP, because that's as early as when elves will place it.
And guys, if you're up against Foggy, you have to scout every inch of your front yard, because this is getting brutal now for FoCuS.
Yep. Entangle focus on the grunt there. Probably going to go down with the second entangle guaranteeing the kill. The other grunt that was helping FoCuS creep actually got webbed, and the heal salve was cancelled, and he's forgotten about it, and it's not healing up either. So, yeah, FoCuS kind of getting his attention just divided in too many spots at once, which is very effective. And yeah, you don't want to be an orc player under so much duress at this point against elf.
No. Maybe FoCuS gets some PTSD triggered here from back in the day with Melting Valley 1 when orcs were slaughtered by humans playing Alchemist 3rd and Mass Griffins. Oh no, the Alchemist was on the orc side. Where Mass Griffins and man, these bouncing glaives go a long way! FoCuS is out of lumber, FoCuS can't get the Shaman Hut up. And this push is so damn good and covers Foggy's expansion.
Yeah, this is basically the perfect scenario for elf, is to be able to keep the orc very far away from your side, not creeping. You buy so much space with expand. There's no way the blade could have gone cross to try and cancel the expand. Otherwise, he would have lost far too much in the base. He already has lost a lot in the base, and the AP managed to uproot itself and heal and reroute. So now it gets to stay even longer. He's forced into a catapult and can't build a beastry or a lodge.
Definitely an oversight by FoCuS not killing that AP. He was laughing about the 4 AP push on map 1. FoCuS not laughing not laughing anymore.
He actually cancelled the Demolisher to make another grunt, which I'm not sure is really going to help him too much here. And yeah, this is like some of the ladder games I've played or played against other people. You can, with just a few things like letting this AP go up, you could be put in a position where you literally have no tier 2 buildings, you can't creep, you basically can't leave your base. And the elf is just, you know that they're getting the expand up. Wow, the lodge is even in range of the AP now. And look how little space there is in FoCuS's base to build anything.
And because he built the shop there, Shadowhunter in a surround is blocked by his own buildings. Oh my god, what a disaster for FoCuS. He's trying to get some physical damage out against the Alchemist, who only has 1 armor, so that is very efficient, but everything else just falls. And since you mentioned your ladder games, the question is, were you the orc or were you the night elf?
I've been in both positions, so the nature of playing random, I guess. You're gonna have games where you're winning hard and games where you get absolutely smashed. So, yeah.
I know that part of getting smashed on ladder games. Yep.
You're familiar with that?
I'm very familiar. Very close family getting smashed is.
I think that could be misconstrued as something else. But
no, that was totally not intended. No, totally not intended.
But let's, we can remind ourselves that we're watching a player as great as FoCuS get pretty much hobbled right now. So, it can happen to everybody.
Exactly. So, lesson, scout for APs on any map at all times.
It literally doesn't matter what map it is, you can't let this AP come up. This grunt has been chilling over here the entire game so far. It hasn't even moved since it got webbed, basically.
Yeah, I'm very... Oh, there we go. You triggered it. I'm very happy that FoCuS is giving his warriors a little time to rest, but that was a bit excessive.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the natural regeneration of units is pretty bad. He hardly healed up that entire time, actually getting kind of...
Here we go. You triggered all the orcs. Yeah, we can't even heal our casters and can't even get mana regen on our casters. What are we supposed to do? We also... Did you know that orc has no spell immune unit? Here we go. Floodgates open.
Grunts
Thank you.
dying to the creeps.
Yeah, you think that makes a big difference at this point, though? I don't.
No. I mean, we've got Foggy here just pumping upgrades. He's going to get to 50 foot pretty soon. He's kind of taking his time getting to 50. He doesn't really mind. Alchemist progress is poor, and this camp is I don't know about this.
It's too
Foggy,
much.
To be honest.
It's too
As
much.
we're talking about the stone wall, there's too much. Wow, he's going to go for it anyway and get creep check. Maybe this is the opening the FoCuS needs. Wow, shockwave. Oh, heal scroll used to save those two low hunts. But yeah, no hex or anything. You know, no ensnare, no purge to catch anything in. Wow. Basically, a heal scroll trigger that got some value.
True that. That's the cool thing about W3Champions finals. You see some maps that you usually not see, and maybe the pro players aren't as prepared as they are on other maps. Just like you saw with Foggy and the creep spot. But still, miles and miles ahead.
As we can see, FoCuS bringing 3 peons here. He is absolutely all in. There's no way that Elf can be allowed to have the expo for a moment longer. He has to end the game here. And unfortunately for him, he is doing so while being very far behind.
Well, tower's coming up. Shadowhunter level 2. Good luck, FoCuS. You need it. But everything's falling. Like, Blade Master, soon to be down. Serpent Wards, only level 1. No mana for a Windwalk. Still escapes. Nice detonates on the Shaman. Foggy is making double sure that this ain't happening.
Yep. I mean, Foggy moving back his low units here to cancel the towers, as they're kind of useless in battle, but they can be used to cancel those structures that are pretty much defenseless. Very nicely done. And yeah, what can FoCuS do?
That is a good question.
Right now.
My mods are calling me out.
What's that?
My mods are calling me out for making their life hard. Sorry, Alone in Heaven, I'm very sorry. I know this day has been very, very, very stressful for you guys. I appreciate you all so much. Yeah, FoCuS is trying to creep up a little bit to get that heal wave level 2 and maybe an item that can help, and a big mana potion can definitely help.
Yep, big mana here. Pretty amazing item, as we all know, but Shadowhunter level 2, is that going to cut it against this next, you know, wave of reinforcements from Foggy? I don't think so. He's getting up to 60 foot already, retraining to that level 2 Thorns right away, which seems to be maybe his standard approach now in this matchup, which is cool to see. Yeah, 2-2 upgrades finishing for him as well. Wow, these units are very strong.
Okay, FoCuS is trying again. This time, shop first, then tower, maybe a little more defensive. Shadowhunter made its way to 3, also Wand of the Wind, which can always tip the scales. But
Yeah,
Foggy
pretty effective against the Alchemist for sure as well, but
yeah.
Foggy's armor looks insurmountable right now.
Let's go! Hero focus first, let the Thorns aura work. Foggy has a 15 supply lead, a couple of units falling in quick succession, especially Huntress versus these Serpent Wards, but protected Archer backline, dealing with the snakes super quickly, and Huntress clean up the rest.
Yep, towers I don't think have pretty much any shot of going up right now. I'm actually watching the Blade's HP very careful to see how much damage he's taking per shot from himself. And it's about 9 damage on average, which is quite a lot actually, every hit, and on a crit it would be a lot more than that. So, kind of cool to see. Thorns are already getting some action, but it has to be said, Foggy was very, very far ahead. I think anything would have worked.
Yeah, this game was definitely decided by an AP. And Foggy, Melting Valley was his, that was FoCuS's map choice, so Foggy has match points now on Twisted, which was his pick.
Well, I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted about that. Has a chance to close out the series on a map which I think elves can be pretty tricky to deal with for orc players. However, maybe FoCuS kicks it up to a different gear. Perhaps we'll see some double beastry lame or something like that on such a big map.
Yeah, FoCuS definitely has all the tools that he needs for strategic variety to turn the series around. If FoCuS wins here, we will see Eversong, and our poll, by the way, said that 60% have never heard of Eversong. So we were slightly off, but maybe chat was or poll was rigged. I don't know.
Yeah, it was probably rigged. Like, no matter what, rigged against me or in my favor, it doesn't really matter because it would skew the results either way. So,
true, very true.
The 70, yeah, a little bit of an exaggeration for sure.
So this is now a moment that I noticed a couple of times. Foggy wins the map and is not immediately joining the lobby like FoCuS does. And he always likes to take time between maps to leave the chair, refocus a little bit. But that makes something with your opponent, I guess. Letting that cook up a little. Like, oh, God damn, I should have scouted for this AP.
Oh yeah, you let them stew. You let them kind of toil in the mistakes they made last game. Yeah. I mean, I imagine people do this in sports as well a lot. Sometimes I guess it gets branded as gamesmanship even potentially. But let's be honest, it's a third game in a best of 5.
Yeah.
I think you have every right to take a couple minutes just to chill. You know, playing live matches is a pretty stressful occasion, even if you're pretty experienced. It's intense.
Yeah.
And these guys are playing at a very high level, so you have to be sharp in every game.
Foggy does it, Moon does it, a couple of other players as well. FoCuS is ready. FoCuS is asking already. No. FoCuS was asking if Foggy is smoking, but Foggy is as healthy as you can be. Mostly eating salad, always well hydrated, always well exercised.
Oh, he'd be absolutely horrified to know what I had yesterday for food. When I was
what was it? What was it? Tell us.
I had a steak pie, which is a pretty traditional classic here. Then I went and had a Vietnamese pho, which is nice and very healthy and very tasty and balanced. And then I had a fish and chips later on at like 11 p.m.
Living the life. Were you out drinking by any chance?
Oh yeah, since like 1 o'clock or something. But I only had a few, 4 or 5 drinks. Not too bad.
It is kind of a back to Warcraft tradition that my co-casters go out before big casts and get hammered.
We all do, apparently.
All right, we go out as well. We go out to Twisted Meadows to see if Foggy can close out this semi-final with a 3-1 score, or if FoCuS is able to bring this back and bring us to Eversong. Twisted it is, FoCuS upper left, Foggy bottom right.
Alrighty guys, FoCuS going for the barracks here in that nice little nook, as we see just away from the trees. A perfect spot to trap an unfortunate rock golem between a brawny orc army, a building, and trees. It's a pretty odd location to find oneself, but FoCuS will be looking to do that to get a nice little XP and item lead. In the meantime, Foggy, we would anticipate he will pull the mercenary camp out to make the creeping easier, get the priest to generally actually assist with the creeping. He's quite good DPS in the early game. Perhaps not, we'll see. And yeah, get himself level 2.
Oh, and we got ourselves a big contribution towards the prize pool, standing now at $2,127. Thank you very much, Doc Rock, for $30, says from Doc Rock. And Commodore Neckbeard, I see your name more and more and more in these contributions lists. $25 from him. Pewee! And Franz, thank you for buying a profile picture and also contributing. Our goal was 2K. You blew that out of the park, out of the water. You blew that into somewhere.
Knocked it out the park or blew it out the water?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a long day, everybody. Sorry, but
idioms are hard to get right.
Oh God,
that's
I'm so stupid. So happy I got you by my side.
You're the man that's speaking in his not his native tongue right now.
That is true. That is true. I'm trying my best, guys, and FoCuS is also trying his best. And this time, this creep works. So please don't deny, and then everything is fine.
I couldn't believe that Pro Orcs could ever deny this camp. You literally just stop using the burrow, like you just get the get the peons out long before you're about to last hit it. But in any case, FoCuS getting probably one of the best drops. But the trouble is, it's not really strong now. It doesn't provide any upfront strength in the early game. It's not like a Boots of Quel'Thalas or something, but it is incredible for the late game stages. Wow, the 2 keeper already here gonna find the grunt.
Ooh, Foggy, these early games, man, they're really, really good. The Vamp Aura, of course, somewhat of a natural counter to Foggy's new Thorns Aura build. Foggy got the last hit, didn't he? Oh,
he got the last hit because of the creeps.
God, this is so bad for FoCuS again.
Yeah, and plus he's hurt and has to already, sell TP, buy items, and yeah. Foggy gonna be aiming to just try and cancel the heal salve if it ever goes off on the blade and just buy time. It's working out pretty well for him so far. Expo all the way down in the 6 o'clock position. Will we ever see a play perhaps where Foggy pressures and then just TPs back to the expand and clears that spot? I always love that play.
Yeah, for sure. Why not? It's a staff somehow, but probably gonna get it. Hunt. Oh no, the AP is coming up again.
The AP once again chilling outside the base, and this time FoCuS, he kind of has to keep the grunts inside. But to be honest, he should know that he won't lose a grunt against just the keeper with like 2 entangles. The blade in the meantime, trying to get what value he can, popping the speed scroll and trying to get no brute, gets the item. And level 2 secured, but the AP comes up again, Neo.
The peon was so close on the right-hand side. It left the base, went to this little avenue between the forest and the mercenary camp, but he didn't see it because it's nighttime. And now FoCuS, good luck. You're facing elimination, and you have an AP in your base soon? This is not gonna be easy at all.
Scout peon there dies in the middle after not really doing its job. Probably would have been executed anyway by the Blade Master for not revealing the location of that AP. And yeah, we're going to be faced with the exact same situation again. Foggy will come pressure with the Alchemist. Oh, actually, the tech is a long, long ways off for Foggy, so this is more of an early pressure approach, I guess. Might not be as hard for FoCuS to handle because in the last game, Foggy went for a pretty quick tech and already had the Alchemist like very soon at his disposal. Now there won't be an Alchemist this time. It's not too many units, but it will be a nuisance nonetheless.
And that tree is growing, of course. FoCuS scouts for it. Usually his signature move is to split the Blade Master away from the army to kill the entangled gold mine, but this ain't happening. He can't prevent the Shadow Hunter, but he can probably prevent everything else for quite some time.
This time we see that FoCuS's wood economy is much more healthy. He has the resources to build his tier 2 buildings. And yet, with only 2 hunts in the Keeper, it shouldn't be too difficult for him to get rid of the AP here. There's quite a substantial army. Just waiting for the Shadow, I think, to come out before trying to push Foggy back. But in the meantime, Foggy is actually starting the Expo creep with a Berserker and a Huntress only. Wow.
That should work. The tree can tank a lot.
He did last hit the level 3 Ogre already, so not a great start, but it is hard to manage everything at once. I think no Wisps is maybe too greedy? Let's see.
We're fine. We got trees. We can cannibalize.
I mean, it's kind of close, honestly. We're gonna have to redirect that aggro, I think, onto the Berserk. Onto the Troll Berserker.
Oops, and now we got piercing damage versus Hunt. That's not ideal, but this is all on the back of this little push, which has been prevented. No cancels, but also no beastery. FoCuS's lumber still pretty low.
Players' forces are under attack.
And also for upcoming towers and cement, etc. It's not perfect.
Yeah. Not perfect for FoCuS, but I think, he had a fairly easy push to handle of the mirror image, nicely getting rid of the Entangle Bomb combination, as we so often see in this matchup. And yeah, the Expo is rooted. Takes 1 minute to entangle that gold mine before any gold starts flowing. And yeah, we can see FoCuS still struggling quite a bit to get that beastery up. The beastery is just amazing early on for Orc because the Wind Rider speeds up creeping tremendously in the early, mid-game. Unfortunately, won't have that resource available to him.
No, not at all. And Foggy is thinking that offense is the best defense if you keep the Blade Master in FoCuS's base and he can't attack at the bottom. He's looking for it with mirror image and illusions, etc. But that's about it. And Foggy will figure out quickly that this is not a real Blade Master.
A player's forces
And he has that 2 base, 1 base advantage.
Shadowhunter getting a little bit of space here to creep up, but not a particularly amazing camp for him. Doesn't offer much experience. FoCuS trying to do what he can here to buy a little bit of space and delay the creeping of the Alchemist in particular. And actually coming in for a full-blown creep jack here, which I think might work out pretty well for FoCuS. He has lots of piercing damage, wards are online, level 3 blade, and some shaman. And I think he will wrestle control pretty easily of this Troll Warlord here. Nicely done.
Nice catch.
Oh, but they've got the last.
Indeed. Okay, we're stacking up damage. We got claws on the Shadowhunter. We got a well-leveled Blade Master as well. Can trade the mantle for the claw, and then we're all good. Foggy, can you get enough time?
FoCuS actually cancelled his own heal salve by casting mirror image. So he had to use his second charge to heal up the blade, which is a little bit unfortunate, but nothing major.
player's forces
We get FoCuS tier 3.
To be honest, I don't mind this at all, because either FoCuS goes for an all-in, again, like he tried on Melting Valley with tier 2 and powers and stuff. I think this time he thinks perhaps maybe I can get some levels and just try to go late with like Bloodlust, Orb of Lightning, and you know, you can always Tiny Haul later as well. Perhaps that proves to be a solution for FoCuS here. And to be fair, Foggy is kind of far off getting Alchemist level 3 here.
True. He's also far off getting a substantial army together. But the good thing is, for Foggy, there's no Serpent Wars this game. It's Heal Wave, it's Hex, and that's about it. So the Huntress hold a lot of value.
Yeah, they certainly do, as we know how strong those level 2 wards are in general. But yep, a nice thing for Foggy too is he has quite a bit of gold. He can buy an Ogre Mauler if needed. Yeah, FoCuS just going to go straight for this Tree of Life here. I think it's going to be fine. And yeah, Foggy pretty much ready to engage here, but his army isn't looking incredible, but he does have 2-1 upgrades and lots of Wisp, which I am a big fan of.
Oh, can they connect? Detonate number 1 was very nice. Oh, there's still 2 Wisps available, waiting for the perfect moment. Oh my god, these Wisps connect so well.
He managed to not dispel his own entangle on the Berserker, which I think he was trying to very carefully micro around. But wait, he doesn't know this is Hex. I'm not sure if he knows this is Hex.
Uh-oh, I mean, he should know because there's no Serpent Wards! Oh, the Keeper falls! No staff, no Invul Potion, no chance to go for the heal scroll. And now it's down to the Alchemist to defend this, but with Acid Bomb there might be a shot. Shaman getting healed up, they were pretty bruised. And of course Huntress with their great AoE attacks.
Indeed, but the Blade and Shadow standing strong as a combination here, but the Aura, 6 intelligence extra as well in that Shadowhunter, and the Blade with really strong items, and also the Lionhorn I also forgot to mention as well. So this Orc army has, you know, 2 amazing auras right now. And yeah, Foggy just doesn't quite have enough mass to get over the hero levels and items of FoCuS, I'm afraid.
He also doesn't have Nature's Blessing, so this Tree of Life is just disappearing, trying for some mass repair and distraction, but it's
so hard with the Keeper. Keeper coming back with the EP and the scroll. I think the only way is maybe Shadowhunter FoCuS, but the Alchemist getting surrounded.
Oh no!
He's going down.
Oh no! Second hero kill for FoCuS. There was a heal scroll, used it, wasn't enough. But this is quite some kills now on Foggy's side. If he keeps his heroes up, Shaman are falling on the left-hand side, Shadow Priest is falling on the left-hand side, Grunts are getting entangled, and FoCuS's tier 3 is not on the field yet. There is a chance as long as he holds this expo.
Trouble is, Neo, how is he holding this expand? The Hunts are getting kind of bruised. I feel like the Orc heroes are still standing strong, taking hardly any damage in this fight, and the Blade can just go to town. Not on the Entangled Goldmine preferably, but oh, that's why he was doing it too! Oh my god, beautiful play to use the Lightning Shield on the Blade to get rid of those 2 low units. He knew exactly where they were shadow melded. The Lightning Shield being dispelled after the fact is quite funny. And yeah, the backline, like these archers just get absolutely crushed by this Blade.
Yeah, I think Hunts all the way is the play still. Question is for how long. We get Bloodlust now on this Blade and Shadowhunter. Blade Master still has the big Invul Potion, so hero focus shouldn't be an option. Mass repair is necessary.
Hex. There's a Hex again.
Another Hex! And he gets the double kill. Alchemist back now, taking turns in the altar. And all the wisps are gone as well.
I think maybe some orcs would have given up hope in this game a little bit. It looked kind of grim at points, but yeah, FoCuS playing exactly how he needed to win this game, and the pillage resources from the grunts actually providing him with quite a lot of resources right now. And yeah, tier 3 is online. Pretty amazing spot for FoCuS. And as Elf, you're on equal economy with a tier 3 orc with a tier 2 army. Tier 1.5 army, pretty much.
Usually we discuss, can tier 2 orc win against tier 3? No, he cancelled the heal spray!
Oh, this is just getting more and more painful for Foggy. Accidentally pressing stop, I think, on the Alchemist instead of his army to prevent the army from moving around. And yep, calls for the GG, and there we are. We have a decider on Eversong. Neo.
Oh, wow. Eversong on W3Champions finals. FoCuS takes it back. Smile is slowly but steady coming back onto his face.
It is sort of like in between smile. He's like, getting happier again, getting happier slightly.
Oh, FoCuS. He's been in competitive matches for almost 6.5 hours now.
Good
That
Lord.
is a long time. That is draining. It's also plus 7 hours in Korea in the middle of the night. But man, he's still able to provide us with great Warcraft.
Yep. It's just the resilience, really, I think, in this game. It just looked kind of not nearly over for FoCuS like it did on Melting Valley, which of course was a complete wipeout. But it was kind of tough for him to get his, dig his claws back into this game, as it were. But he just did the exact thing he needed to do. Push at the right time. He got levels, and it worked out pretty successfully against Foggy. I'm not sure maybe what Foggy could have done better, to be honest. Maybe get Alchemist level 3 sooner? Maybe a bit more ambitious with the creeping? I don't know. But yeah, didn't work out for him, unfortunately. But now, the decider match on Eversong, the first time we see this map today.
Oh man, high stakes. Whoever wins this upcoming map, which is kinda uncharted waters, is increasing his prize pool by a lot, as you have to play the second day. This is 3 times the prize money. Is that true? Yeah, that is true. 3 times the prize money than they have now. Of course, all depending on your contributions then. And Eversong, who knows this map better? Who has the better creep routes? Who tested this? And who did not veto this?
I do wonder how much practice the players would have put into going over Eversong and working out like what is a good route. Can I expand easily in this map? Can I have some cheeky AP positioning? I'm sure Foggy must have thought about that. You can see there isn't a great deal of tree line actually next to the base, so probably quite hard to actually plant an AP out of vision, I think. The gate kind of blocking the way on the left-hand side there, on the right it just fades off into the sea. So maybe not so easy to do that. And actually, for the first time in this series, we see a Demon Hunter Neo coming out.
Ooh, okay, no APs. I was thinking, can you build the APs behind the gate and then storm the gate and storm the base? Isn't that kind of an invite to Foggy's AP style? But I guess Demon Hunter most reliable. Keeper's also very reliable, but I guess for a Keeper you oftentimes need a very precise creep route to hit that level 3 while you're under pressure. With the Demon Hunter it's all a little easier. I have no idea, I'm just speculating here.
I think we can only speculate a bit, but this looks like a solid opening creep. 3 level 3 creeps, pretty nice. I can see the other camp over there isn't quite as rewarding in terms of XP. And this is a very easy camp, doesn't require any repair whatsoever. The skeletons are intimidating, but they don't really hit very hard. FoCuS luring away the Warden is pretty annoying for sure, as there's no ensnare on this creep. Very easy to do for orcs. And we see FoCuS go for the exact same creep as well. Yeah, what will Foggy go this game? Will it be lures or wins?
Yeah, that is the big question. I think without a Keeper, Mass Tier 1 is out of the question, is not supported by a Disable, is not supported by a Summon, so Foggy has to switch up his entire game. The strategy that brought him the 2 wins is not working, apparently, here. And FoCuS, he can just more or less play standard and react accordingly to what Foggy is throwing at him. It's a little bit of an easier situation for the orc.
Yeah, I suppose so, but I kind of like Foggy's awareness this game, actually. Like, putting a lot of pressure on the plate here. Wow, forcing him pretty much to no HP, no mana whatsoever. Looks not fantastic for him, but FoCuS did secure the Slippers of Agility, which is a very nice item indeed. And Foggy, I think, will snatch level 2 here from the scraps of the remaining camp. And I'm guessing it's going to be wins, judging by the very fast 1 Moonwell tech we saw from Foggy. This may even be an Ancient of Wonders coming down now. Yep. And the 4th Moonwell would complete the circle. The talents almost certainly.
Foggy was absolutely wonderful with talents back in 2015 when he went to China the first time, eliminated Lin with that strategy in the group stage of GCS. We all remember that miraculous tournament. Magic. Where the players were placed in a little cardboard forest. So wonderful. All the memories.
Are you guys in China as well, having a good time being casters there, I'm sure?
We were, back then we were casting from home.
But you did go to China a couple times, no?
Oh, we did, but that was later. We were never exposed to this cardboard forest, unfortunately.
Oh, thank God for that.
I don't know, man.
Sure.
I would have loved to spend some time.
Yeah, the cardboard forest. I'm trying to imagine what that involves, to be honest.
Oh, I'll send you a picture later. It's kind of funny.
All right. FoCuS managing to steal the last hit here. Pretty nice, but Foggy does steal back the Ring of Superiority. Not too shabby an item, it's okay. +1 to all stats. It's a commonplace item we will all see now in our ladder games. And yeah, Foggy actually not building the 4th Moonwell, doesn't really care, I guess, about the Moonwell juice. Perhaps he's just going to go for Tavern Hero and Tech and the first wind pretty quickly. And it should be the Beastmaster. Here it is.
Absolutely is, but he's not playing him aggressively. Only summons the Quilby, sends him back for a little bit of creeping and a little bit of aggression. Damage of the Blade Master is already pretty insane, but of course Cyclone is the best way to play around that. So what's the play with the Beastmaster here? Going into the main, buying a staff, luring out the creeps? No, I'm a little bit confused. But anyway, most important is Demon Hunter in the base.
I think what the goal here perhaps is for Foggy to use the staff to be, like, to use 2 staffs so that he can go in, cancel a building and be staffed out without using his TP. But he used the staff to leave now basically because he was forced to, essentially. And it'd be a little bit harder now to maybe cancel the Spirit Watch, which is the most important building to get rid of. Or a Torrent Totem if it were a Torrent Totem. So it would be a little bit more risky now. But it should be kind of successful for Foggy, honestly. If he just goes back in the base with the Demon Hunter, the Beastmaster can stamp him out. It should be okay. Instead of opting to creep jack the Orc, though, is an interesting choice. Let's see how this plays out.
This is a tough camp. Shadowhunter's coming to the rescue. The other units still have to take some time because the burrow was kicked, of course. But here is the Hex again to alleviate some pressure. The staff is on the Beastmaster. Nice block by Foggy on the right-hand side. And that prevents the creeping, but did it do a lot? I mean, it buys time for Cyclone Tech, but...
To be honest, as long as the Orc isn't creeping, it's a pretty big win for Elf in this particular matchup with Talons. And, you know, Foggy can win with like 3-1-1 heroes and Master Talons against 2-2 or 2-3 Orc heroes. It's definitely doable. The Beastmaster is kind of irrelevant here. He's sort of done his job in pressuring. I still wonder if there is a better alternative. You know, Beastmaster was the staple pick for so long when Talons were meta every game. Perhaps he is the best pick overall. I still need to think about that a little bit, but he's certainly done a good job keeping FoCuS busy. I mean, this Shadowhunter just got the first XP from a summon.
That is pretty bad. Also, the Quilby's preventing the healing with heal cells because of otherwise, of course, it could be cancelled. So Foggy is buying an absurd amount of time. He's already reached tier 3. Talon Adept upgrade lining up perfectly, but at the moment, I know you like to talk about Qs. These Qs seem a little suboptimal because the master training isn't running, but Foggy as experienced as he is, will probably fix that in no time while continuing to harass. Interesting that he used the mana burn on the Shadow Hunter, not on the creep. Would have probably been hexed anyway, and gets the kill and just leaves.
Yep, pretty solid distraction again. Unfortunately, Foggy did not fix the Q for Master Training. Probably going to start that now. Yep, there we go. So not too much of a delay. It's not that important. Of course it's important, but there won't be a fight for quite some time now, I imagine. Should have plenty time to get the Master Training online. And to be fair, the additional towns that came out early are building up their mana pool, which is very important in any big engagement against Orc.
Very important is also to support back to Warcraft like Knusperhoden just did with the €1. Qbert does a great job as a co-caster. You are a very pleasant team.
Oh, what a lovely way to describe it. A pleasant team that we make.
Very glad that Knusperhoden enjoys our work. And
thank you, Knusperhoden. Right.
FoCuS
no
is
expansion here to take care of.
Yeah. Just ignores the burrow as there wasn't enough damage anyway. That raider would have of course been a gift if there's a keeper, but there is no keeper. Demon Hunter also far away from 3. I wonder if that will bite Foggy, this constant aggression and lack of creeping.
Yeah, I mean, okay, there's level 2 Shadow Hunter, so I mean, Foggy has done a great job of keeping FoCuS busy this game, despite like a super stacked blade and that staff was important because that could have gotten a little bit dicey with double purge and double ensnare and a hex. In the end, it does cost Foggy his TP, but ultimately not much of a sacrifice there. And I think we're going to see a pretty big push incoming, actually.
Yeah, because on this map there's 2 taverns. And while the Beastmaster was staffing away from the one tavern, Foggy was already at the bottom at the second tavern, goes for the Tinker, and what a great timing this is! So sick! He's canceling the tower, he's canceling the Great Hall, and Foggy is on the move into the semi-final if the game continues this way. But he's got to be careful because FoCuS is collapsing on him. Or, no, rethinks it.
This Orc army, if FoCuS has to take a straight up fight, is going to get pretty old. Against these Master Towns right now, we have a level 2 Shadow Hunter who's not very impactful. We have no walkers, it's just Shaman Dispel, which isn't very good against Talons. I'm not really sure why Shaman are being preferred here, honestly. And yeah, look at these units. Most of them are still in the air. Playmaster's spending almost the entire time in the air so far. Pretty easy to focus the Shaman down actually in the backline as well. And yeah, Talon's not the best position to be honest. It's a very open position. The Raiders getting nice surface area against them. But yeah.
There's no TP.
Dropping like flies. No staff on any of the other heroes though, and the Beastmaster does go down. But in the end, the next Cyclone and the Shadow Hunter or Blade should secure their death, to be honest. But yeah, maybe Foggy losing a little bit of oversight. Could maybe have gone for a hero kill here.
Still, he got the supply lead. He denies the expansion, and the second base is what Orcs need. And he denied that. Not even too much mana invested. He kept the Blade Master busy, spinning in the air. Because, you know, he has plus 17 damage already. That's quite good with all the claws and the slippers. But if he's just spinning around, there's no threat. And he has to rebuild that entire setup. The burrow, the tower, the Great Hall. And Foggy is not having enough. He wants more.
Oh, jeez. He smells blood in the water, as you would say. This is, oh my god. FoCuS is pretty much just sort of cut off from his own base right now. And just has to fight kind of head on. Maybe he's just going to run away and let these units be remained cycloned in the air.
He might be cut off from the rest of the tournament if things continue this way. Foggy with great scout though, seeing that
scout is insane.
There's an expansion coming up and he turns around, he's just cancelling it all over again.
That scout was pretty crucial to be honest, because the 2 towers would have been impossible to deal with, backed up by the Orc army. It does however cost Foggy a couple units in the back, and Shadowhunter does hit level 3 as a result. Not ideal. And we see maybe the hero level difference coming into play quite a lot, but still this level 2 Demon Hunter not really offering much in these fights.
He's getting closer to 3 though. Beastmaster is back as well. There's an Ancient of War coming, making sure that there's no expansion. He might try in the north, but it takes some time to creep that spot. It's quite brutal, and usually you don't have the time. Interesting to see that nobody is going for shops. They weren't quite on the way or reachable in time. Speaking of reachable, FoCuS is reaching 2 talents.
Wow, actually, nice interception of those creeps. And wait, is there a TP here?
No.
But there is a scroll of healing on Foggy's end. Nice position on the talons this time. They're pretty safe where they are. The fucking factory protecting in front, and FoCuS is like, well, I'm just gonna have to focus your Demon Hunter then.
Alright, nobody has a town portal. Both have a heal scroll. FoCuS, no speed scroll either. Heroes high up in the air can't use their spells. Reinforcements are getting intercepted, but FoCuS needs healing somehow, but he doesn't have the heal wave. He decided to go for Hex, and of course the Serpent Ward for more damage. Demon Hunter, is he the raid boss that needs to be killed? Tinker in FoCuS, he carries the scroll, uses it to keep the Tinker up. Pure hero focus, but that is such a damage sponge at the moment. And only a level 1 Tinker, all that damage done for only a level 1 Tinker.
That's true, but he did force Foggy to use the heal scroll in the end, which is of course very expensive. And Foggy, I feel, actually is kind of losing a little bit of control here. Feels like he needs to get more kills. FoCuS is doing a great job of just getting maximum value and then leaving when he can. Wait, Demon Hunter being focused here, is this ambitious? Nah, he's just gonna get a little bit of damage. And that's it. I'd be pretty surprised if FoCuS went all in on this Demon Hunter right here. Then again, very stacked blade. He does seem to be kind of going for that. Okay, yeah, Demon Hunter getting stacked out now, finally. The towns are in a horrible position. Super, super exposed. There's no Tinker to protect them anymore. Okay, you got a Kodo finally, but what did it cost you in the end?
Massive overcommitment. He could have disengaged from that position, but he wanted that beast down to get rid of the command aura. Now there's piercing damage. More and more piercing damage. Talents are getting eviscerated here. Demon Hunter also finally down to 1/3. What can he do? He has a TP finally, but it might just be too little, too late. 10 supply lead, and growing.
Foggy, you were so close. I think he's unfortunately thrown the lead he had in this game earlier. Even rebuying the TP, but not using it, and then losing pretty much the remainder of his talents before teleporting out, and then 36 supply. Wasn't even remaking the Tinker the entire time, probably because he had to cancel it in order to buy like teleport and stuff. And yeah, FoCuS just gonna try to expand again. Has a supply lead, has very strong heroes as well. So one more creep check might just be the nail in the coffin for old Foggy.
I agree. Demon Hunter gets a little bit more damage. Blade Master is here. Can he steal something? Invo Potion would be tremendous, but only gets the heal scroll, quote unquote. Still very important to take that heal scroll away, of course, but it was mostly about the Invo Potion.
Interesting to see some level 3 creeps with chaos damage. This is definitely a rare sight indeed. Now the Fell Beasts here don't offer much resistance, I'm afraid, against the Orcish Horde. But yep, Foggy, I think he senses that he's kind of all in here. The Expo is going to come up if he doesn't push, and that gives FoCuS the time to set up a little snake pit and the tower. And I think this stronghold here might be kind of impregnable.
With the tower up, it's getting harder and harder.
Oh, there go the Raiders again.
5 of them. That weakens the defenses, of course.
Yeah, but I think Foggy is pretty scared of what the Raiders can do in the base. Saying that, do you think Foggy could push into the space here? 4 circuit wards already set up. And the tower? I don't know.
Probably not. Wonderful to have that Serpent Ward, Subi Mask now for the Shadow Hunt. You can just set up that Serpent Ward, doesn't cost too much, and if the push is coming, he's ready. If not, well, then he just is still full mana.
Yeah.
FoCuS playing this really well.
Yeah, Subi Mask is an incredible find. Probably one of my favorite items in the game, honestly. Kind of just fixes hero's mana issue and just lets you spam stuff with pretty much reckless impunity.
And it's looking cool.
It does. It is
most important.
Sweet.
Most
spooky,
important.
Spooky mask. Oh, there's the level 7. That's the creep I was talking about in the 2v2, the Fell Ravager.
It's a powerful creep indeed, but...
Oh yeah, so strong. Let's get it.
Oh my god, what a fight this thing is putting up.
Isn't it funny how we have to like kind of accept that creeps are there to just be sort of owned? Later on, they can't really put up any resistance.
Yeah, I mean, if they're getting lured out, that's what happens, right?
True.
It's like, can you do? Foggy, on the other hand, annihilating this camp as well. I think it was Duck getting pretty much owned by this camp because he didn't know how to creep it, because I think they got Parasite ability or something. So if a unit of you of yours falls while infested, there's like 2 little spawns and that snowballs a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
it was probably always ghouls getting killed or something, I'm guessing,
yeah,
right?
something like that. That snowballed heavily. So there is instances where creeps can actually be super tough. I know a German caster who plays Undead who tried to creep the Ogre Lord on Last Refuge upper left, and that backfired.
Oh, it was Remo, wasn't it? So
yeah,
bad.
absolutely, totally Remo.
Yeah, that's a Remo
Must
play.
have been. Yeah, Remo that losing 2 heroes to this was ridiculous.
Wouldn't be Neo. Not as Tiax.
No. The GNL champion of last season? Never.
Oh yeah. What happened this season?
Huh?
What happened to my amazing team that I put together?
Oh, I think this the connection is getting real bad, Qbert. I think we have to try to cut this pipe. By the way, on a Talon army, is something that I love.
Yeah, it's obviously the absolute best drop that Foggy can hope for here. 2 fairy dragons in the mix as well, proving to be very hard to deal with, I'm sure, in the upcoming battle. And yet, TP being used immediately, can't afford to lose that Hunter Soul, which I really like. Talon players doing, adding this in the late game to get Wellspring and potentially lures later on in the game. But yeah, FoCuS, 60 food. Second base is very well established right now. Second beastry being added as well.
More raiders, eh?
I was naysaying those Shaman. I thought they would be very weak. I still don't feel like they would have been better than Walkers, but in the end, maybe the Serpent Wars were carrying.
I feel like they're just quicker.
Elf heroes though right now. Wow, they are strong.
4-3-3. Gotta be careful. Double invul potion as well. This hero focus ain't that easy anymore.
Yeah. What do you think, Neo? What's going to happen in this situation? FoCuS running around in circles. Foggy doing his best to keep up. Can't really keep up.
I feel like if the game continues for much longer,
it's bad for him.
Foggy can probably plant another tree. He's rich as well.
All right. Well, chat, I've been abandoned, it seems. So, let's see. Foggy taking this engagement right here. He has a ton of resources, actually.
Yeah.
Might be able to get some value fighting on 50 food right now. But yeah, FoCuS not really willing to give him that straight open engagement. Can he get an... I don't think Foggy can get another base up is the only problem. If he could get to maybe a second base and some lures, that would be amazing for him. But I think he just doesn't have the time. I feel like FoCuS might do a run by pretty soon and go for some building destruction. But yeah, Foggy, I think, maybe just gonna chill, get some creeps near his base, and do the best he can.
He really shouldn't chill, because FoCuS is building 4 towers at the bottom and will expand there again. Even though lumber is super short for FoCuS, but this cannot happen.
Level 5 Blade coming up pretty soon here. We've got the Scroll of Healing and TP on the Shadow Hunter, Pendant of Energy and Sobi Mask that's going to provide a ton of spells for him to use. But in the meantime, these Talons have been collecting mana and are pretty much ready to go.
Yeah.
And Foggy going to actually move out his Tree of Eternity, meaning that if anything ever gets staffed home, it's not going to go to the main base. It's going to be really hard to heal things up, unfortunately.
I think we got this bug again. That Discord is
I'd be
out.
pretty surprised to see FoCuS take a straight fight here. He's getting up a third base. He's trying to go for an ultra late game scenario where he can get lots of units, as many items as possible, but maybe it gives Foggy time to come online a little bit here. But then again, this Tree of Eternity isn't going to be mining that soon.
No, not at all, Qbert. Thank you for covering while our technology was crapping out a little bit, and thank you for FoCuS and Foggy for giving me some time to restart Discord. As sometimes, you know, there is this bug where nobody can hear me anymore, and that's apparently what happened. But prior to the big storm, now I can't open Discord anymore.
Hello.
There we go. We had this Discord bug, you know, where you can't hear me anymore, and I took like a minute or two to figure out that this is happening, but now we're united again, just like Foggy and FoCuS.
Assuming, okay, let's talk about it afterwards. So, FoCuS going in here, destroying the Hunter's Hall. Pretty big loss for Foggy, honestly. Wait, a staff into the top right position here. Bat Rider's actually trying to go for the Tree of Life here. Nice awareness by Foggy to immediately begin staffing over there to try and cover his expansion. But yeah, FoCuS establishing that third base right now. FoCuS's main gold mine, of course, already ran out. So, yeah, 2 base economy versus 1 currently. Well, 0 pretty much. The Entangle hasn't finished on the Tree of Eternity, but yeah, it will be so soon.
Okay, the bats, 2 of them, got kicked for free. Little oversight by FoCuS, but yeah, Blade level 5, this damage, these crits. Interesting build, by the way, 1-2-2. I think I haven't seen that version of a Blade Master just yet.
I'm guessing Mirror Image 2, Crit 2?
No, Windwalk 2, Crit 2, Mirror Image 1.
Not the strongest late game combo, I would say maybe retrain into Mirror Image 2 and Crit 3. Especially given the items that he has. Like, this is potential for some 300 crits almost. Exactly 300 if he high rolled on that 75
Quick
damage. Well, 75 times 4, not that hard to do, but yep.
Well,
But in any case, depends on who you are.
Exactly. Some people count with their fingers, some do 75 times 4 in their head in a split second. You know, we're all different, and that's a good thing.
That's true. We have different strengths and weaknesses.
I only have strength, though.
Of course you do. Alright. 2 Fairy Dragons being traded for 2 bats there. Pretty okay. And yet, kind of FoCuS not really making the best use of his bats there, to be quite honest. Like, all the bats going down for like 3 units is not the best. But the cancel on the top right expand there feels bad for Foggy. He has only 1 base left, and the money that FoCuS is getting right now from Pillage is pretty massive on this Tree of Eternity. It's probably still going to die as well. And with this loss, Foggy can pretty much be ready to say goodbye to his place in the semi-final.
I think so too. The repair is getting intercepted by Ensnare. 3 Raiders about to drop, but it's all so worth it. Mining denied, tech denied. Foggy semi-final entry also denied. Our Ukraine Night Elf friend had 2 match points and couldn't close it out. FoCuS again proving to be so strong in the mental game, even at 2:30 a.m. Korean time. But hold on, there might be a shot for the Shadowhunter kill, but probably no damage. These talents are all trailing behind, weren't part of the TP, and that digs his grave.
Saying that, the Elf Heroes will be still hard to deal with here, and FoCuS did lose a ton of army trying to take down that Tree of Eternity, and has so much gold to spend, and not that much production to pump out units. 3 buildings is okay, but at the end of the day, you know, he's kind of bruised, only 60 food. I say only, but Foggy's heroes are kind of nuts. They might be able to get some sort of army advantage over time, but FoCuS is mining from 2 bases right now with Foggy at a measly 0.
Yeah, problematic. He's trying to reset this base, but he can also not go for any potions, or if he wanted to transition into bears, that's also not possible. Chimeras are a myriad away. It is tricky. It is very tricky. FoCuS on the 2 bases, also high-level heroes.
There we are.
Game.
And there it is. Sad for Foggy. He had the chance to close it out with 2 match points, but credit to FoCuS. He dug his heels in and held fast.
100%. FoCuS advances to the semi-final. We will see him again on Championship Sunday. It's incredible how he got his shape under control. Wasn't the strongest of the orgs in the past 2 months. I think struggled to qualify for TP League. Also in TED Cups, not the monstrous results, not the deepest runs. But FoCuS is back in crazy fashion. TP League run was super successful. Today, super successful. Tip my not worn head for this performance here.
Yes, indeed. No, he can be proud of his efforts this evening. As you pointed out, 2:30 in Korea. This guy is a madman, but he played fantastically in the last 2 matches there too. Squeeze past Foggy to a 3-2 victory in a very closely contested series. I think we can all say we thoroughly enjoyed the plays we saw this evening.
Kind of heartbreaking for Foggy again. He got so close last time to eliminating Happy. Now he got so close to eliminating Foggy, FoCuS, who just eliminated Happy from TP League. But in the end, there is rank 5 to 8. Foggy couldn't close it out, and FoCuS winning back-to-back maps. A little heartbreaking, but you know, there can only be one player per day into the semi-final. And that's it today. That is FoCuS today, as well as Nabu and Pato, Smurf and Pato and Chao Kai and 15 Sway in the 2-on-2 department that we've seen earlier. That means we have one more decision to make, and that is who advances into the grand final of FFA. But for that, I need new casters. And